Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's May 28th, 1999. Happy birthday, Carol, a couple days ago.
Thank you, dear.
We had a great celebration. We drank a lot of spirits.
We had some good mimosas.
We raised some spirits.
On my actual birthday, we both worked, but whatever.
Yeah.
We still had fun.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of things that don't matter, we watched Mad About You, the final episode, Carol.
Yeah, we
The
did.
final frontier down on Mad About You, baby.
I think
However
it was
that goes.
pretty depressing.
It's weird. It's a weird one. Because we spend our whole time rooting for them. You know, it reminded me a little bit of the end of Cheers.
Okay.
Where Diane comes back and Sam and Diane, it's like, oh, they're gonna get back together, and then it turns out like Sam's love of his life is the bar, I guess, and he just lets Diane go because he doesn't want to leave the bar.
Which is closing or no?
No, I mean he just like at the his last line is "we're closed" because they're closed for the night or whatever. And then they turn the lights off, and then the cast makes fun of Jay Leno.
Interesting. Well, we had Janine Garofalo
Janine Garofalo.
as Mabel.
Love Janine Garofalo.
I really do.
Reality bites his own.
And
Bye Bye Love's own.
Bye Bye Love.
She worked with
Truth
Paul
About Cats
Reiser
and-
in Bye
Yeah.
Bye Love.
And Truth About Cats and Dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah, she is. Where she's supposed to be the ugly one, which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, she's very. Honestly, I feel like she's prettier than Uma Thurman. Like,
I do too.
Uma Thurman's got the tall, thin, blonde thing, so it's like it's a type. I think it's more of a type thing than a level of prettiness.
Uma Thurman also has eyes that are about 5 feet separated from each other.
Okay.
Anyway, so no, I love Uma Thurman too. She's fine. But yeah, we watched the final episode, and it's weird because it all takes place in 2021. Can you imagine the crazy futuristic future of 2021?
Yeah.
Shit show. Oh, what have you got planned, Carol?
I don't know. I'm just thinking like that's so far in the future, it has to get fucked up.
It is, yeah. But wow.
A little pessimistic.
You don't
today, I
have
guess.
the Back to the Future Part 2 rosy outlook on what the future's going to be like, huh?
No.
2015 or whatever year they went to. Anyway, so she becomes a documentarian or a filmmaker or whatever, like her father. And we find out that Paul and Jamie, this couple that we were mad about for the entire run of the show, was never actually married.
It's weird. Yeah, because the person that married them wasn't ordained. But that kind of makes sense because didn't they get married by like a construction worker on a street corner?
Honey, I don't remember. Like, you want me to remember fucking things about this show from years ago? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that that's the storyline, is that like they felt like they were losing control of their wedding. So they had somebody marry them just randomly in the middle of the night, and then the rest of it was for everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So, I don't know. That makes sense to me that they weren't ordained.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good for you.
What?
Nice memory there, Carol.
I have it occasionally.
But in the end, they get back together.
Yeah. And, like, when Jamie was talking about, like, how they broke up and stuff, she's like, he said I wasn't kind. She's not. She's kind of a bitch. I mean, honestly, throughout the whole show, doesn't it seem like he's a little too good for her?
He seems nice, but I just always chalk that up to Paul Reiser as like one of the producers on the show, so he makes his character nicer.
I mean,
You know what I remember
I guess
the-
we're going to focus on the fictional, non-fictional aspects.
You know what I remember the most about Mad About You was the crossover episode they had with the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I don't remember that.
Well, they have Carl Reiner on as Alan Brady, which was his character on the Dick Van Dyke Show. So the Mad About You universe takes place in the same universe as Dick Van Dyke.
Carl Reiner, didn't he also play in Bye Bye Love?
No, that was Rob Reiner, his son.
Oh, okay. Never
But
mind.
another connection, though.
Yeah.
We're going to bring this all back to Bye Bye Love. Wasn't Matthew Modine a guest star on Mad About You one time?
Was he? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
That'd be cool, though.
I wanted to try Vic's Meatloaf Surprise.
I don't think I want to eat anything that's called Meatloaf Surprise, no matter who makes it.
And, well, Vic's secret ingredient was Prego.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
They say that in the McDonald's. He's like, you want to keep that down? But it was good. It was a good episode. I mean, like,
Yeah. But it was just
I've seen
sad.
shows get sent off way worse. I've
Yeah.
seen worse final episodes.
No, I liked the episode. I just felt like it was sad to find out like Paul and Jamie weren't together. And,
It was
like,
sad.
Mabel's all like pessimistic and shit, and I mean, you get together at the end, but it's like it kind of gives you a window that wasn't really great into
Yeah.
what's missing in the show,
How many years
Yeah.
were they not happy for then?
right?
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. It's not as good as Newhart's ending.
I know it's
Nothing
your
will
favorite.
ever top Newhart's ending. For those of you that don't know, Robert Newhart created a show called The Bob Newhart Show in the 70s, where he was a therapist. You'd love it. He was a therapist, and it's like all the wacky characters that he has to therapize or whatever.
Sure.
And then he's got a wife, Suzanne Plachette, in the show. Then years later, he created another show called Newhart. Now he just needs to create a show called Bob. And so in that show, the final episode of that, he gets hit in the head, and then he wakes up as his character from the Bob Newhart show with Suzanne Plachette next to him in bed being like, oh, you wouldn't believe this dream that I had. I was married to this blonde woman. I was living in Vermont in an inn, and like all this stuff and everything. And like, she's like, yeah, go back to bed, Bob. You've had too much pizza or whatever.
Yeah, so essentially negating the entire show.
Yeah, the show exists in his character's mind, but it's a comedy, so it's like it's not high stakes. It doesn't matter if the show didn't exist or not because it's light ephemera. It's a comedy, so it's like it works perfectly well. It's the most creative, best ending to a show ever.
Okay. It sounds good. I wish I'd have seen it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what though, Carol. You know what you can see. You can see these ads. We'll be back momentarily, everyone. Listen to these ads.
Hey, ladies, are you looking to level up your man's summer grooming game? Well, look no further than our friends at Manscaped. Get him ready to flaunt that beach body with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the secret sauce for that perfect beach babe look. With our exclusive offer,
Got the secret sauce.
yeah, he does. Visit manscaped.com, use code LATEFEE20.
Yes, you got it.
All right. And enjoy 20% off plus free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let him be the only one at the beach missing out on smooth sack summer. Show him some love and upgrade his grooming routine with Manscaped. Okay, ladies. I got to tell you, we were gifted some of these products.
Mm-hmm.
And they're amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of just leveled up our game.
Yeah.
And, they didn't even say to say this, but, I've used it too, and it works well for me too. So,
Yeah.
ladies can use this.
It makes your clitoris look larger, too.
Dear Lord, why would you say that? Oh my God, now I'm never going to use it again.
No, I'm just joking. No, you know how I'm just joking.
I'm traumatized.
Do you know how they say if you shave a guy who shaves that it makes his penis look
Yes, I
bigger?
know the joke.
It
you're
was a
making.
joke based on that. It's not real, ladies.
But anyway, they've got like this nice deodorant stuff that like
Yes.
makes it smell good, and they even have like other products like for the nose trimming and
nose trimming,
and
ear trimming.
ladies, you might use that stuff too.
Yeah.
So
I have a veritable forest.
not anymore.
No, now
It's all gone
now
now.
it's a barren wasteland.
It's a nice even meadow.
Now it looks like McDonald's went through there and leveled and slashed and burned the whole thing.
Oh my God.
So they can have cow farms or whatever they do to the Brazilian rainforest.
Wow. Okay. So get 20% off and free shipping with code LATEFEE20
Yes.
at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code LATEFEE20 at manscaped.com.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, ladies, it's a gift for you before it's a gift for him.
Well, guess what, everyone? We're back.
Yes, we are.
We're here to talk about
Our smooth force.
and not Jesus Christ. Notting Hill.
There you go.
We watched Notting Hill, a comedy of manners or whatever.
What did you think of it?
Oh wow! You want to know what I think of Notting Hill?
I do.
Before you say what you think of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm not going to go overboard. I could go overboard and be really hyperbolic, but I'm not going to be. It was, I guess, like to me. So Julia Roberts is charming. Hugh Grant has his charm too. It's by Richard Curtis, the same guy that did 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Mm-hmm. It's not as good as 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I don't think it's as innovative. It feels really disjointed.
Okay.
The whole movie to me feels very disjointed. So the basic plot is that Julia Roberts plays Julia Roberts, essentially. She plays a big film star, and Hugh Grant is a guy that owns a travel bookstore.
So specific. It's kind of weird.
And it's about their relationship, but it's also kind of about how the relationship that stars have with the audience and the audience has with stars.
Right.
And each scene in the movie felt like, here's the scene where she meets his friends and they freak out because she's like a big star and they're normal people or whatever. Here's the scene where we find out that people talk shit about her, and everything, and like, she has to deal with that sometimes. Here's the scene where we find out that celebrities sometimes have things from their past dredged up, and that sucks for them. Here's the scene where they have to deal with paparazzi. Here's the scene where they have to, and it felt like a lot of that, like Richard Curtis wanted to talk about. Here is these are all the different things celebrities have to go through, and these are all the scenes that highlight that. That's what it felt. Instead of feeling like a cohesive story,
Okay.
where one thing happens because of the other thing happening, like down the line, cause and effect, it felt a lot like each scene was like, I have this to say about the celebrity culture and the way it affects the stars and the way it affects people. And then I have this to say about that, and then I have this to say about that, and then I have this to say about that.
Maybe that's why it felt to me a lot like forced. Like,
yes,
all the relationships in the movie felt
Yes.
very forced, false, fake.
Yeah.
So I didn't really pick up on this is win, but maybe that's why.
It doesn't have a heart. The movie doesn't have a heart. Like,
Well, because the actress doesn't have a heart. Like the
that's
whole
a big part of it too, yeah.
Like, I don't like her.
No, she's not a likable person.
And you need to like your main characters. Mm-hmm. I only kind of like him. Neither one of them have a ton of personality.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything really offensive or anything like that, but it's like, yeah, why am I rooting for him? Like, who
He doesn't
cares?
seem special in any way.
No, like he mentions that he was divorced before and everything, and it's like, okay. He vaguely says, like, because she goes, what happened? And he's like, she saw right through me. And she's like, or whatever. And it's like, that doesn't amount to anything or come back. Like, there's no depth of character there at all. Everything is surface. Mm-hmm. At one point, his sister, towards the end of the movie, just announces, hey, I'm getting engaged. And it's like she turns to his weird roommate and is like, it's you. You're the person I'm getting engaged to. And it's like she read the script and he didn't. And he was just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And like I felt like it was improvised, the entire thing, because we don't even see them date.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were. Like, it seemed like she's supposed to be a little crazy. And he's obviously crazy. And I think that she was just like,
this seems like
hey,
a good idea.
Yeah, let's do this and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
It's very weird. So many things in the movie are weird. And like Hugh Grant's character, offhandedly mentions that he was dating one of his friends before. Mm-hmm. And she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he's like staying the night there and stuff. And it's like, why is there so much backstory to this relationship and so much nuance there when it's really not that significant to the story?
Well, yeah, and even that just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a revelation towards the end of the movie. It's like, oh, and the other person I loved fucking married my best friend, and it's you. And he looks at the audience. He's like, it's her, everyone. And he points to, it's like, who fucking cares at this point? I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, it's really weird. And like I said, to me, it just feels like, because like he meets her, she comes in the bookstore, somebody asks for her autograph, and it's like, okay, yeah, we get it, she's a big star or whatever. And then the next scene, he runs into her, spills stuff all over her. That's the only scene that really kind of feels like it's two people with each other. But then after that, she's like, come up to my room, like, or whatever, we'll hang out. He goes to her where she's staying at the hotel, because she calls him or whatever. He comes to the hotel, and there's a bunch of fucking people from magazines there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the whole point of that scene seems to be like, doesn't it suck that like celebrities always have to do this stuff? And then doesn't it suck that they have like assistants and everything that like kind of tell them what to do and stuff? And their time really isn't their own. Like she would rather,
they lack agency.
Like she would rather be with this guy, but their time's really not their own, right? And it's like, yeah, interesting point, Richard Curtis, but like this is not an entertaining movie.
You know what, though? What bothered me the most is Julia Roberts is a very charismatic and great actress.
Yeah, she is.
Hugh Grant, very charismatic, great actor. Mm-hmm. Terrible chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, really not good.
Like, you'd think just by being them, they should be able to pull off being in love with each other, but they can't.
No, and like I said, I don't think it's great casting. Because of that. Like, they're both great actors, but yeah, together they don't work.
Nothing. It's nothing. It's awful.
It falls really flat. And
their first kiss is weird.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, too. I mean, it doesn't even seem like they felt anything. You can't build a relationship when the characters have their first kiss and there's nothing there.
Yeah, you don't feel that, like, charge either. Mm-mm. And I mean, maybe part of it's the way it's filmed, the way it's framed, or whatever. There are a couple like interesting filmmaking decisions here in the movie. There's one scene where they're on the outs, as they are most of the time in this movie, and he's just kind of walking through his little street or whatever,
Portobello Road.
Yeah, and all the street fair stuff. And as he's walking, he's passing by different stalls, and it's going season to season. There's snow on the ground, and there's leaves on the and everything. And that was interesting. That was an interesting visual way to show the passage of time, and that was cool. And there were a couple things like that were interesting directorial choices, but the script is what really lets the script and the chemistry between the actors is what really lets this movie down, because like I said, I think this movie has a lot to say about celebrity culture. And despite the fact that you and I do this show and we talk about movies, we talk about TV shows and stuff like that, I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you, but I don't want to speak for you. But I don't give a shit about celebrities as far as as far as their personal lives and stuff like that go. I feel like that doesn't matter as far as their art goes, and it does not interest me at all.
Agreed.
And that's a lot what this is about, is how people are obsessed with celebrity culture. And I think you could have made a really good movie with those ideas, but instead of just giving us scene after scene, we're like, look what she has to go through, look what she has to go through, look what she has to go through. If they use that to form a character, what happens to a person when they have to endure this and this and this?
Apparently they become this empty shell.
Well, yeah, because that's what happens. And like the no agency thing is very huge in her character, because she's flirting with Hugh Grant, she's kissing Hugh Grant and everything. She's like, come on up, let's fuck in my hotel room. And then they go up there, and all of a sudden Alec Baldwin, like, Alec Baldwin's there, and he's like, "Hi, I'm the boyfriend or whatever. I'm Alec Baldwin." And he's like, "Oh, you have a fucking boyfriend? Like, what the fuck?" And like, she wants to break up with him or whatever, I guess, but like, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
She doesn't have the courage to do it, and she doesn't break up with him. He breaks up with her later or whatever.
Apparently, because she got too fat. Because
Yeah.
he makes a comment about her weight. And it's Julia Roberts. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the whole thing's ridiculous, but it's like she comes off as like a kid that doesn't know what she's doing and is just being blown in this direction and that direction, and she flies off at the handle at the like she's very impulsive and everything. These guys are talking about her and like, oh, she's not like they're at dinner and these guys at the other table, they're talking loudly enough to hear, and they're like, oh, she's not like Meg Ryan, this is Julia Roberts, she wants to fuck, and you can see it in her face, and like, yeah, she's a fucking nasty girl or whatever, and like, blah 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 blah, and like, oh, she's not that great of an actress though or whatever, and all this shit and everything. And she stands up, like, first of all, he goes over there and he's like, I'm gonna defend your honor, and he's like, hey guys, maybe don't say that.
She's a person.
Yeah. And then she comes over and they're like, oh my God, it's you. And she's like, oh yeah, you guys have opinions or whatever. Your dicks are small. Bye. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, that was cool or whatever, like that she stood up to them and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. It just, everything is just like, it's very, like, there was no real point to it other than it just shows that, like, sometimes she's impulsive.
I guess, yeah.
I didn't, like you said, I don't get a fully formed character. I don't get a fully formed story. And he had more chemistry with that one Emily Mortimer or whatever, the actress, the one, I don't even think she gets a name. He goes on one date with her.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, I'm the perfect girl or whatever. And they kiss on the cheek. And then she's like, bye, I'm leaving the movie. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I struggle to find anything that I liked about the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that you're agreeing with me so much because I thought you liked it.
No.
Huh. Okay.
No, like, there were things about it I liked, but I really did not like her character either. She was very mean to Hugh Grant's character
So
in
many
several
times.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't deserve it. He was not mean to her at all. He was very understanding. He was there for her. He let her come. Even after she was mean to him and broke it off with him, he let her come stay, no questions asked.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she had a boyfriend or whatever, that she's back in town in London or whatever.
Yeah.
And this whole tabloid thing breaks loose where they find pictures of her nude or whatever when she was younger. She's like just starting out into the business, and someone filmed it, I guess, the nude photograph session, so it looks like a porn film too, or whatever, and they're passing it around. She's devastated and everything, so she goes to his place to hide out from the paparazzi, and he lets her in there. They talk and everything, and then the paparazzi find out where she is, and she's like, you fucking asshole, and like she's all mad at him and stuff and thinks he's...
It's ridiculous.
And she's like, yeah, for you, it's like, you got... Why did you answer the door in your underwear or whatever? And it's like, how the fuck was he supposed to know? And she's like, yeah, for you the one that had sex with the celebrity. It's great for you. I'm just another whore or whatever. And it's like, I understand there is that double standard, and it sucks between men and women. But, like, that's not his fault.
Right. Yeah, he didn't do this, but she just assumes that him or his roommate, like, sold her out.
Yeah.
His roommate's stupid and apparently told people at the pub that she was there.
You're right.
But he didn't do anything to profit off of it. He's just dumb.
Yeah, he's just an idiot. Spike, the Welshman.
He was the funniest part of the movie, probably.
Who you can't understand. A lot of this movie reminded me of Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Which I didn't love either.
Yeah, it was fine. It was better than this.
It was, yeah. It's not one of my favorites for sure. I don't think that, like, I hate it.
At least that movie had a coherent story, like a story of like, hey, like this is happening because that it happened earlier. This is how this character reacted to this happening, so now this stuff's happening. Like, at least it followed that basic of, storytelling 101. Mm-hmm. This doesn't. Like I said, it feels like a series of vignettes of Richard Curtis saying, like, this is what it's like being a celebrity. It sucks.
Well, and then at the end, we see they end up together, and she's pregnant, and, like, we're supposed to be so happy for them, but I'm not. I don't care. Feel it. Yeah.
I don't care. She wins an Academy Award, so I guess she gets validation there, and then she's in a Henry James movie, and now she's just living in London. Mm-hmm. And, like, she gives this big speech, and, like, they want their "You Had Me at Hello" moment from Jerry Maguire, I think.
Such a better movie.
Because she's like, yeah, I'm a big celebrity, but I'm just a girl, in front of a boy asking him to love her or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, right before that, he goes to visit her on the set or whatever, and she's talking to this guy and stuff. He's like, hey, who's the guy? And she's like, fucking nobody. Just some fucking guy I knew. I don't even know why he's here.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm leaving. And so he leaves. And then she wants to get back together with him, and he rightfully says no.
Yeah, good for him.
But he's like, hey, I heard all that shit you said. And she's like, what am I supposed to tell him, my life story or whatever? Like, no, not necessarily, but, like, maybe just say, like, oh, he's a friend.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you have to say. Friend of mine. I'm going to talk to him later. You don't need to know any more than that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to say, like, you have to slag him off and be like, he's a fucking piece of shit. That's essentially what she said.
Yeah.
And what's the justification for that?
I mean, I guess to protect her privacy, but she could have done that, like you said, without putting him down. And
I feel like there's a thread that's not fully formed throughout this movie. It's like a phantom thread. It's like, that's a seamstress term. Okay. But it's like it needs to be brightly colored. It needs to be a bright red thread, but it's not running through this of her being rude and doing things because she really wants her privacy, and she feels like her privacy is being violated.
Yeah.
And she's not willing to let people in. And there's that thread. It's very subtle running through the movie. But it's not fully explored enough for the end, because I think the end, when he goes to the press conference and he's like, hey, what if you stayed and we fucked or whatever? And she's like, I'm staying in England indefinitely to have sex with this English man. Like, if that's supposed to, I think that's supposed to be a big, like, oh, she overcame her, like, she doesn't want the press to know her personal life thing.
Right.
Like, that's something she's supposed to want anyway. But, like, I think that's supposed to be the big cheer moment of, like, that's her character arc. She's done it. But that thread is not nearly strong enough through the movie.
No.
For that to impact in any way.
Agreed.
It's like, and that's for me, like, I seriously doubt that most people that watch the movie got that thread's there. Not saying I'm like, whoa, I'm so great or whatever. But like, I'm sure a lot of people did, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't too. And even those of us that did see it right away, it wasn't woven in enough to the narrative for me to care about that final moment. So even when you do notice it, it still doesn't make an impact. And if you didn't notice it at all, that end is just like whatever.
Right.
So I was really like I had high hopes for this movie, to be honest with you. And I was really disappointed in what we got.
Same. I cannot recommend it.
No, I would have to say, I don't even know I'd say rent it. I think I would say
skip it.
You can just skip it. There's no point. If you haven't seen it, I mean, I don't know why you listen to this if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, I don't. Yeah. There's no point in seeing it. But that is the episode for the week, Carol. Why don't you tell people where they can fall in love?
So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yes.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Oh, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.